So I get asked all the time, how do I create a new life after divorce? How do I pick up the pieces? How do I create my new normal? And especially when you have kids, how do I keep things normal for them? And I think, especially for women, it's a challenge because you just went through this process of having your life ripped apart, right? And you're really just getting your bearings. You may have to find a new place to live, which means you are, moving and you're making new connections in the community and possibly changing schools for the kids if you have kids, and, trying to stay within a drive distance for work. And it's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of chaos going on, and there's a lot of change. And one thing is, humans, we don't always love change, and we may be okay with one change, but when everything changes at once, it becomes brutal sometimes. And sometimes it's easier for some people than others. But what do you do when you're in that place and you're trying to figure out, how do I restructure my life? I'm Holly Amato, and I am a certified real estate divorce specialist, and I'm also a divorce coach. And after my divorce, let's see, it's been 11 years now. I had 3 small kids, 5, 7, and 9. And we had to move out of the marital home about 25 minutes away. And I had to do a drive to school, which was really difficult. I had been a stay-at-home mom, so I had to really get things together quickly. And I went from that to where I'm at now, where my kids are 17, 18, and 20. So I'm in a totally different place now than I was then. And then I wasn't thinking about the future as much as I am now, because I was so inundated with running and running and running. And all I cared about was keeping the kids in their school, keeping them in their activities, keeping their life as normal as possible, getting myself sufficient, financially stable, and able to really create a life that I would love and that my kids would be able to be proud of. So fast forward to today. And what I really wanted to talk about today, nobody tells you how lonely it is once you're divorced and the kids are off doing their own thing. By the way, that's a good thing. That means that you've done your job, mama, and you have helped raise your kids to be off doing what they're supposed to do. Maybe they're off at college. Maybe they're just, high school, and they're running around and they've got a job and they've got friends, and maybe they're out of the house already. And you wake up one day and realize you're in a place where it's just you. A lot of times, if you're not remarried. So it's tough, because while you're in those early stages of divorce, you're in survival mode, and you don't think about the future as much. You don't think about, what do I do once the kids don't need me so much? So personally, that's the stage of life I'm in right now. And I absolutely love coaching people on this, because that just means that you did survive, you did get to the other side, your kids are doing well, and now it's time to think about you. So what can you do when you start to feel lonely? Because we all have been there, where you have a free weekend, you don't have the kids, and maybe all of your friends are busy, or maybe they're all married and they're doing coupled up things. So what I want to recommend, especially if you're not to that stage yet, be cognizant that it is coming. And when you get there, you want to be prepared for it. The only way you can really prepare is to think about what makes you happy. What are the little things that you can do for you to keep up with self-care, to feel good about yourself? Maybe if it's been a while and you're ready, maybe you do join a dating site. Be careful with that, obviously. Use caution. But maybe you get out a little bit. Maybe you do some networking if you're in a business where you have your own business, or you're in a business where it would behoove you to make some relationships. Maybe you get out and go to some networking events that you're invited to. Maybe you join groups, parenting groups or divorce care groups if you're going through the process right now. Maybe you're involved in a church. The churches have tons of groups going. I know my church, there's 60 groups going, and I picked one, and I'm involved in it this year. And there's just so many different ways that you can get involved. But here's the thing, sitting at home and feeling lonely is not going to solve your problem, because nobody's going to walk up to your door, ring the doorbell and say, hey, let's get you out. You've got to do that. Rekindle friendships. Maybe you've been someone who didn't have a lot of time for friendships. This would be the time to really rekindle. Maybe you're on Facebook and you connect with somebody and, hey, let's get out this weekend. But keep your social life alive. You are more than just a parent and more than just, whatever job that you do, or a business owner, or, a daughter, and, all these different hats that we wear. You're more than just that. You've got to take care of you. You've got to make time to create a life that you love. And that is part of creating a tribe of people that maybe you want to take a vacation. There's nothing wrong with going by yourself, by the way. That's kind of liberating too. The whole eat, pray, love thing, the whole Julia Roberts thing, get out there and just go. But it would be nice also to find someone in your similar situation who has a little bit of free time, maybe when they don't have the kids, especially when they go with the other parent for a week-long vacation, or the holiday time that you have planned out. Holidays can be tough, by yourself on the holidays if you don't have your kids or you're not used to that. So you need to start creating a plan for times that you know might be tougher for you. Find your tribe. Find somebody else who could be a travel buddy. Go take a weekend trip. If you can't do like a quick little New York or Chicago trip, or down to Florida really fast, especially in the winter if you live in a cold state like Michigan, just a staycation. I know in our area there are a couple places that you can go and stay in a hotel, and they do a fabulous job. They've got spas, and it makes it kind of feel like a short little vacation. Just take care of yourself. And know that it's completely normal to have these times when you feel alone, but don't stay there, because you're never totally alone. You're never totally alone. And if you want to even reach out to me and tell me where you live, I'm happy to try and find some resources for you, whether it be a church group, a divorce care group, or just get some information. That's what I do with my coaching. So I'm a divorce coach, and I have a program that I am selling, but also offering just coaching services, because sometimes I think you just need somebody who's been through it, who understands it, who's on the other side of it, to help you kind of take that stress out and look at things objectively, right? Like the bird's eye view of what is actually true, and not with all the stress and emotions that are intertwined. So I'm happy to do that and would love to help you if you're in a situation like that. But again, the most important piece of information I can give is don't do life alone. Don't be an island. Make sure that you are open and reaching out. There's nothing wrong with having some me time. I'm not saying be with someone all the time, but you need to build yourself up. Especially if you're a mom and you've got kids, you're a parent, you've got to build yourself up, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of them. The airlines say it best when they tell you to put your mask on first before helping somebody else. When you first hear that, you feel like that's selfish. I'm just worried only about myself, but that's not it. If you pass out, you're not helping anybody, right? So if you've got to keep yourself strong and armored up, and just in a good place so that you can continue to give, because most of the time as women, we're givers. We're giving to our children, we're giving to our jobs, we're giving to our community, possibly our families, maybe you have aging parents. You're typically giving. And in order for you to continue to do those things, one, you need to not deplete yourself completely and make sure you're being careful and saying no when you need to say no. But two, you have to take care of yourself. You've got to do things that make you feel good, that keep your physical, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual health healthy, and make space to have those days where you pull back if you need to, and get out there also. Don't stay just in your own little bubble. Again, I'm Holly Amato. I'm here to help, and please, if you are feeling lonely, take my advice, reach out, get to a networking event, get with a friend, maybe take a class, I don't know, basket weaving, pottery, painting, dance, learn a language, just get out with people, rekindle maybe some things that you used to love that you've put on the shelf or put on hold because you didn't have time, and just get involved. And at the very least, if you can't think of anything else, There's so many charities out there that need volunteers, that need help. You're going to feel good being part of a good cause. And there's a great group of people that you can meet there and start creating those relationships. But the goal is for you to feel good about yourself because you are worth it and you deserve it.